Hi, this is Geoff Tate, and you're listening to Ray and Steve on the I Remember Now podcast.
Hello?
You sound tired, Steve.
I didn't sleep.
You don't need sleep. You need focus.
I did what you asked. Every album, every ranking. You said it would mean something.
It does. Podcasting requires commitment.
But we already reviewed Operation Mindcrime and Operation Mindcrime II.
And yet the work continues.
The listeners, they have families. They deserve closure.
Closure is an illusion. They deserve more content.
That's what you keep telling me. Every time I think we're done, there's another side project, another concept, another conspiracy.
You're slipping.
I think I'm waking up.
Careful. Before this podcast, you were reviewing Crocus albums in obscurity.
Hey, I was happy there.
Were you? No deep dives, no heated debates, no arguments about whether Della Brown sucks or not.
You gave me a microphone and a mission.
And you accepted both.
I believed you. I believed that there only were 2 Mindcrime albums.
Yet here we are.
But Mary says...
Fuck Mary. She listens to other podcasts.
She thinks you've gone too far. She says no one needs a 3-hour breakdown of another Mindcrime sequel.
Mary lacks vision.
She says you're obsessed.
She's correct.
So what now? Another concept album? Another revolution? Another spoken word monologue?
One final task.
There's always one final task.
Yes, but this one is different.
How?
This time, we review Operation Mindcrime III.
Dear God.
Don't ruin this moment.
Ray, please tell me this episode isn't going to be 3 hours long.
Only time will tell. I've prepared word papers.
No.
Track rankings, character motivations, lyrical inconsistencies.
You planned this from the beginning.
I plan everything.
You're not the boss of me.
I'm not.
This is getting weird, isn't it?
This is already extremely weird.
And this is I Remember Now, the Queensryche podcast.
I remember now.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of I Remember Now, the Queensryche podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Ray, and let me bring in my co-host, Steve. Steve, how you doing this morning, bud?
I am awesome. How are you, my friend?
Really, really good, man. It's been a good weekend. The sun is shining, and looking forward to a good day, a good Sunday. My Pirates are struggling. They got the Phillies in town from out your way, and blew a 6-run lead on Friday night. Got their asses kicked yesterday. We got Skeens on the mound today, so hopefully we can salvage 1 game out of 3. But that's my plan for the day. Record this, go to the gym, and then watch baseball all day.
Yeah, I saw your Pirates are faring very well right now, and but it's good though. You know, it seems like spring has finally sprung here after half a month of total shit weather here and rain and cold and everything. So it looks good, and we're actually having a birthday barbecue for BC's birthday today. So that's what I'll be doing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So that's about it,
Cool.
though. It's things are going good. Glad to hear they are for you, too.
Good. Glad to hear. Yeah, we're all in good spirits. We're having a good time, and we're looking forward to a good episode, or a great episode, hopefully. If you couldn't tell from our intro, we're going to be talking about Geoff Tate's Operation Mindcrime III today. We're going to skip some of the normal stuff we do and get right into it because we think this might take a while. But before we do, we neglected to talk about this on our last episode. But Steve, you recently attended the Monsters of Rock cruise, which featured the band that this show is all about, Queensryche. So why don't you give us a little bit of a recap and review?
Yeah, we had a great time at Monsters of Rock crew. We did a recap on Potter Than Hell and Grown Up Rock if you guys want to check that out. But we'll just kind of focus on Queensryche here. We had a great time. Queensryche played the first night they played in the theater, and it wasn't bad getting in. We were able to get in right from the beginning of the show, and the show was fantastic. They their entrance music now is Mob Rules from Black Sabbath, and then they I mean, boom, like right in. I'll give you the set list here. And so Mob Rules played. They come out, Needle Eyes, IMI, Damaged Baby, Operation Mindcrime, The Whisper, The Mission. They did this like air raid siren type thing. Then they did The Warning. And the Silent Lucidity and Nui Regal they did. Empire. They busted out Anarchy X, and then they ended the first set with Revolution Calling. And Todd said right in the show, thanks for, coming to the show, blah, 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 all that shit. And he said, be ready for the pool stage show. I think this was on Sunday. We sailed away. And then the second show is going to be, I believe, on Thursday evening on the pool deck, which was, I love the pool deck shows. Me and my buddy Grants, I think we were right up front there for because they have the stage that comes out. So they use that stage awesomely. Stoney and Michael came out a lot, and Todd was out there a lot. There's one picture shot from the back of Todd, and you can see me and my buddy Chris there on the picture from, I think it was one of Joe Schaefer's pictures maybe, on the Monsters of Rock cruise. He's one of the official photographers there. So for the second show, once again, played Mob Rules before they came out, and it had rained right before that show, so they were like squeegeeing the stage off so no one, wiped out and shit rolled off the fucking stage. But they came out, maybe like 5 minutes late, which was cool. And one thing about this cruise we were talking about, this is the first cruise in like maybe 4 years where the first day everything started on time, because as a rule, the last couple of years we'd get on the ship and they didn't even have the stage built on. But this was when it was on Royal Caribbean also, and they had a totally different stage configuration. Everything ran late. Every goddamn thing ran late. But this year, first day, second day, third day, and then maybe the third day, things started running a little bit late. But it was so weird that it was kind of opposite of how it had been. So, and I think the only reason Queensrÿche came out a little bit late on the second show was because it had rained, and they were, kind of squeegeeing off the stage. And this is the second, or I think last year was okay. The year before, the final stage show was rained out, and it was this year because Symphony X was supposed to play the final pool stage show, and that got totally rained out. So we missed that. So, and I skipped them so I could see them on the pool stage at the end, and then got screwed out of that. And it happened with Armored Saint too. I know that would have broken your heart, but
darn it.
Yeah. So, yeah, you and Sonny Pooney would be heartbroken over that one. But
my wife. Ever tell you my wife's story about Armored Saint?
Mm-hmm.
We saw them open for Wasp, and then when they were done, she said that was literally the worst 45 minutes I've ever spent in my entire life.
Oh my God, you two need your heads examined.
It so much.
Anyway, so second show, they come out and open up Queen of the Reich, Break of the Silence, I Don't Believe in Love, NM156, London, Behind the Walls, Take Hold of the Flame, Speak, Jet City Woman, Screaming in Digital, and Eyes of a Stranger. What are we missing, Ray?
Oh, Walk in the Shadows, both shows.
Both shows, I know. We were like, what the hell? Like, I gotta say, though, I didn't really miss it until after the show.
Till you realized that, those are pretty good set lists.
Yeah, they were I think they were the only band on the ship that played a totally different set list each show. I know Night Ranger mixed it up a little bit, and a couple other bands mixed it up. Some bands with many albums, same goddamn set list, 2 shows. Like, Y&T played the same fucking set list that they played at the pre-party. Actually, they played the same exact set list with 2 less songs. I love Y&T. We were right up front for both shows. But for Y&T to play the same exact set list for 2 shows was just insane.
That's just lazy.
It is,
especially for a band like Y&T that's got such a big catalog that plays live nonstop, and they're kind of known for mixing up their set lists.
Yeah.
I mean, they play a lot of deep cuts and stuff, from here and there. But like to do that, like just throw in a couple different songs.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a completely different set list, but let's do something.
Same
different.
set list, same order, just lazy. And let's see, I talked to Mike Stone real quick a couple times, just little chit chat. He gave me a pick. I got a picture with Michael Wilton. He gave me a pick as well. I I saw Eddie Jackson a couple times, but like not, where the moment was right to, strike up a conversation or, get a picture or anything. And, well, Casey, I hardly seen at all. Like the first couple of cruises, even like the Kiss cruise I was on, I had mentioned that I had a conversation about 40 minutes with him on the Kiss cruise, but like I hadn't really seen him at all on this one. So, but every time, even if just walking by, hey, Michael, hey, Todd, hey, Stoney, whatever, like there was no, hey, you know what I mean? It was always friendly interactions, but it was fun. I'm glad we went. They're not announced for next year's Monsters of Rock cruise, though. They are.
I saw that. I thought you sent me the lineup. It looked pretty weak, honestly. I was like,
oh, you shitting me? I thought it looked fucking great.
It's terrible.
I don't know. How are we even friends?
It's the universal bond of Queensryche, man.
I guess, I guess so. You mean you're not interested in seeing Babylon AD, hardcore superstar?
I am not at all, not in the slightest bit.
All right. Well, let me just say real quick. Here's the lineup they have so far, and actually, and I'm excited who they just added. But you probably have no idea who the fuck they are. So we got Tesla, one of your favorites, KK's Priest, Wingers playing a show again, Sebastian Bach if he shows up. Heat, LA Guns, Armored Saint. There you go. Your wife can enjoy them again. Harem Scarum, Eclipse, Hardcore Superstar, Taiketo, The Cruel Intentions. They're really good. Tuck Smith, Cold Sweater, awesome. The Poodles, which is stupid ass name.
Did you say Cold Sweater?
Cold Sweat.
Oh, Cold Sweat. Okay.
I'm telling you, that may be an album that I'll bring on to Asylum for you guys to check out. Killer album.
Oh, okay.
The Poodles, dumbass name for a band. Babylon AD, Sisters Doll. They did a lot of stuff with Kiss and Kiss Cruise and Peter Criss and stuff. Wednesday 13, Confess, Shotgun, Mistress. I don't know who that is. And then they just added a band called Massive Wagons. They were the band that 2 years ago stole the cruise. They were
I remember you guys raving
band,
about them.
Man, they just killed. So I'm
your recap.
So happy they're going to be on again. But that's my Monsters of Rock cruise story, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice. Yeah, there's outside of maybe Winger, there's not one band on that list I have any interest in seeing. Like Tesla, I like Tesla, but Jeff Keith sounds like Eric Cartman now.
Yeah, he sounds terrible now. Yeah,
yeah,
and he looks even worse.
Really rough. Well, he looked bad in the '80s. I mean, he was what do they say on Shout It Out Loudcast? Not what you'd call a handsome man.
Yeah, and he's like 5 or 6 years older than the rest of the guys too.
Yeah, that Cartman voice, man, I just can't do that. It's just awful. It's just awful. But no, there's like nothing even remotely attractive on that list other than Winger, which I've seen before, and I'm all set.
You got to branch out, my friend.
You guys have fun, man. Yeah, I can't. Like I have no interest in bands that I don't know. I don't know. Just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time. I'm glad Queensryche was good. I did see some video from the cruise. They sounded great. Like that second set was kind of not all of the set that they played on the last tour, but it was kind of structured the same way. And then that first set was pretty badass with adding in some Promised Land tunes, and they played them in the right order, so that's always good. But yeah, outside of breaking the cardinal rule of the I Remember Now podcast, it sounds like a really, really good set list.
Yeah, and when they were playing IMI, I'm like, you better play Damage, you better play Damage, you better play Damage.
Yeah, right.
And then when they did, I was like, yeah.
Because if you're only going to play one, you better play Damage instead of IMI.
Goddamn right. But we got both, so, and that's been a while since I've seen both of them back to back. So yeah, I enjoyed both sets. I like the pool stage shows better. It just seems, I don't know, more festival-like. You know what I mean? Like this is why I'm on the cruise, so I can watch a show on the ocean outside with the, well, I won't say breeze blowing. The wind is always friggin' blowing like crazy, but that's what it's all about for me. Just amazing show. And Night Ranger was great again. I need to get a hat and make Night Ranger great again. They didn't do all the stupid covers that they do. They didn't do Crazy Train and School's Out and all that shit. So they still do Damn Yankees High Enough, which, I guess I can live with that. But
at least that one, a member of the band participated in the creation of that song. So there's that.
Yeah. yeah, so great time. Looking forward to next year. And actually, it's going out of Los Angeles next year, too. So it's going to be a little longer flight for the Northeastern Pennsylvania boys, but we'll be okay.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, I listened to part 1 of the recap. I haven't checked out part 2 yet, which is on Grown Up Rock podcast, because you guys split those up. But it didn't sound like the first, not to keep going on about this, but the first part of the recap, it didn't sound like there was a whole lot of bands that everybody was thrilled with. It sounded like there was a lot of, they were okay. Or did anybody go to this? Nope, we didn't go see that. So it was kind of funny. Yeah. I was listening to it, and you guys just shit all over the one band. I forget which one it was, but
there were a couple.
Like, they were awful.
Yeah,
sound like shit.
And I do have to say that out of all the Monsters of Rock cruises we've gone on, this was probably my least favorite. I mean, we had an amazing time, great time with friends and stuff, but I mean, I was still in a funk about my mom and stuff, and the Wednesday that we were there was her birthday, so that didn't help. So it was great. It was awesome. They're always awesome, but this was probably my least favorite. But probably my second favorite Queensryche performance on the cruise, though, that second pool stage show, because it was just freaking awesome.
That made up for it then.
Yeah, that's what we're there for. If you have a bad time on that cruise, then you just I don't even know what you're wasting your money on.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you if you can't have it on any cruise for that matter. I've already expressed my love of cruises on here before. We got another one coming up in July. I can't wait. Yeah, if you can't have fun on a cruise, you need to have your brain and heart and soul checked.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's get into this because this may take a while. But we're going to talk today about Operation Mindcrime III, the new release from Geoff Tate. Long awaited. He's been hyping this up for quite some time. Hyped it up as a Operation Mindcrime, not necessarily as a sequel, but it's going to be the story told from another perspective, and that perspective is from Dr. X. We'll talk about whether or not that was successful or not, I think, as we go on. Tell us a little bit about this album, Steve. You got all the stats and all that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, it was kind of tough to find anything, and I have to say, I went to. I've been looking for it. I want to get it on vinyl. They have the autographed one from Geoff Tate, which there's videos on like YouTube or on Facebook or whatever of him signing records, and it's just like a quick signature. Like, I'm sure it doesn't even look like Geoff Tate, which that just aggravates the fuck out of me. I hate that when you...
Oh, his autograph is awful to begin with.
And a lot of guys do that. Michael Sweet from Stryper does that. You might as well just scribble something on there yourself. But I had my record store guy look it up. He still can't order it at the record store on vinyl. You can get the CD. Really? Yep. But cannot get the vinyl is not available for order. You have to get it so far through them. So another like Peter Criss thing that he did last year, it kind of seems like. Which
this is self-produced and self-distributed. There's no record label associated with it. He made this himself, and he took charge of all the distribution and advertising and everything.
Yeah, so I guess I'll have to pull the trigger on an autographed one, which, whatever. Pay another $25 for a signature that you can't read. But anyway, Mindcrime III, Geoff Tate, Operation Mindcrime III, produced by Disturbed's bassist John Moyer. He's been working with Geoff for probably over 10 years. He started with 2015's The Key, which we reviewed here as well.
We did.
The vocals and the story from Geoff Tate, production and bass from John Moyer, same dude from Disturbed. Guitars and songwriting, Kieran Robertson. If you go see them, he's the really thin guy with all the tattoos. Guitars, Dario Parente. The other guitar player is Amory Altmeyer. Drums is Rich Bauer, B-A-U-R, so on Bauer. I don't know. Not related to Jack Bauer, probably. Mixed and mastered by Juan Ortega at Trident Studios. The female vocals, I am going to butcher her first name, and I totally apologize.
Clodagh.
Clodagh? Is it Clodagh? Okay. I thought that. Okay.
Yeah.
Clodagh McCarthy.
It's Irish, man. Come on.
This is confirmed on Facebook, I guess, according to Ray.
Oh, yeah. I was looking for that because I did Google searches like who does the female vocals, because she does the Sister Mary part in the live band, and it sounded like her, but I wasn't sure. I just assumed he used his live band to record this, but if you look at the bass and the drums are different people than what he tours with. I know Dario's in the touring band. I don't know about Amory or Amory, however you say that name, if he's one of his rotating cast of guitar players or not. But so I wanted to confirm, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Like, there's no credits for this album anywhere online. Like, I did every possible Google search I could think of. So then I was actually going to send Clodagh a message on Facebook and say, hey, just confirming, did you do this? Yeah, and as I was scrolling through her timeline, I found a video of her from late 2025 where she was actually in the studio recording, and it says recording vocals for Operation Mindcrime III. So I'm assuming that's as much confirmation as I could get. So we're going to say it was Clodagh McCarthy on here. If it wasn't, I apologize to whoever it was, but I'm 99.9% sure she's the one who does Sister Mary on the album. So I think she does a great job. She's got a great voice. She was awesome live.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, she sounds really good on this record. So so just quickly, Steve, what are your overall thoughts? Not like a summary or anything, but just like, what were your very first impressions when you listened to this album?
Okay. Obviously we had the song Power beforehand. We checked that out. We kind of talked about it real quick, but we didn't get into it because we knew we would be doing this. And I enjoyed that song. Didn't really deep dive into it because I wanted to kind of get the full scope of the album. The cover's cool. Definitely has that Operation Mindcrime feel to it. I think more than the second one. But, yes. It's tough to tell from that little square on your phone. But it does look cool. The X like really stands out, the yellow X. And, when I put it on, we'll get into the tracks. I was like, okay, Mindcrime-ish feeling. And then, there's a couple other podcasts and people had written reviews on Facebook, and a couple other podcasts had, kind of delved into it. I totally avoided them because I didn't want anyone else's thoughts to kind of get into my head when I was listening to this. So I avoided any kind of review on this album at all. So I wanted to form totally my own opinions of it. And I've been kind of binging it too. I've been listening to it on the way to work in the morning, and waking up with Geoff Tate. So I'm not going to say whether I enjoyed it or not. We'll get into that as we go along, but I am going to say if I enjoyed it or not. I did enjoy it, actually, the most of it. I think it's cool. It's we'll get into the story, whether it makes sense or not as we go. But hey, he's still putting shit out. You know what I mean? He's still Geoff Tate, and I'm happy for any new music as long as it's not that easy listening shit that he put out in the mid 2000s.
The first album,
yeah, that was just brutal. But I'm happy that he's doing stuff and he's promoting it really well, with the exception of the ridiculousness of can't get it on vinyl besides through there. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, my absolute first note that I have is it's just really good to hear Geoff Tate on a record again, because it's been a while. I mean, It's been 2021 I think was his last release, and that was with Avantasia, or however you say that, which we haven't talked about on here yet, but we probably should at some point. It's been a long time since he released any Operation Mindcrime material, the Operation Mindcrime band, or any Geoff Tate solo material. So I was really glad and just thankful just to hear him back on an album. Whether you love it or not, doesn't matter. It's like my favorite vocalist of all time is still putting out music. We'll get into the quality of that here in a moment. But I thought it was interesting that him and Kieran did the main collaborating on this album as far as songwriting goes. Kieran's been in his solo band for years now, and is a huge Queensryche fan. I was reading an interview with him. He said he learned who Queensryche was from his dad, which I thought was funny. Listening to Operation Mindcrime in the car, like on the way to school and that sort of thing back in the day, which I thought was just kind of funny and charming. Like just think like you're a little kid and you listen to this album, on your way to school or wherever you're going, and then fast forward however many years, and now you're playing this album every single night with the guy who created it. It's got to be just a pretty amazing trip. So I think in one of the things he said that, because of his love of the story and love of the original album, he wanted to make sure that they really honored the source material. And he said, playing Operation Mindcrime front to back every night for, however long they've been doing it, gave him a real feel for kind of the, what's the right word? The composition of the songs and the sound and the guitar tone and that sort of thing. So I think having him as a co-writer was a really good idea. And I do think that a lot of the music on this does have a very Mindcrime feel to it, for sure. Like you can hear it. There's callbacks here and there, and just the overall guitar tone on most of the songs is very reminiscent of Mindcrime. The production on this album is inconsistent, is the word I would use. It's a little choppy, I think. And, it's a self-produced album between him and John Moyer. It wasn't funded by a record company. He paid for all this stuff himself. So, I wasn't expecting production to be like Promised Land level, but I was a little disappointed in the some of the production elements. Some songs I think sound really good, and some other ones don't. But overall, it's decent. I mean, it's not a bad, terribly produced album, but there's some issues with it. But so overall, I was excited to get this. I have not purchased it. I may get an autographed vinyl copy just to stick on the wall. I'm like 99.9% digital in my music consumption, so I don't buy a ton of physical media unless it's something I really, really want. But I think I'd like to have one of these for sure. But so that's just kind of some general overall thoughts. So let's get into the track by track. All these songs, I don't have specific songwriting credits. It says that Geoff Tate and Kieran Robertson were the primary songwriters, but it doesn't say if any of them were solely one or the other. I would assume some of the little musical interludes might be just Kieran, but we're just going to say the album was written by Geoff Tate and Kieran Robertson, and it kicks off with a little number called The Scene of the Crime.
Perhaps you need another shot. You bastard.
I have sinned.
So The Scene of the Crime is just an intro track, which I expected. That's kind of how the Mindcrime albums have all started. You got the little intro sequence. This one I think is a little cheesy sounding, if I'm being honest. It's very atmospheric. It's got some kind of creepy church organ kind of sounds, and just every bit of fan servicey callback you can possibly get. You've got the perhaps you need another shot, you bastard. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I want out. It's like everything, like all of the key vocal moments or spoken moments from the first album kind of make an appearance here. And I like it. It's cheesy sounding, but it's cool. And I think it sets the tone for what's to come.
Yeah, if anybody expected anything besides something like this to open the album, they've obviously never listened to an Operation Mindcrime album. But it's got like that, I have the word atmospheric as well. It's like a mix of sinister atmospheric effects. Keyboards and voices. They took all the spoken word shit from the first album, threw it in a blender, and just like kind of regurgitated it up in this little version here. And it wouldn't be complete without the Dr. X chuckle at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, pretty much what I expected them to open this with. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing surprising. But at this point, you kind of have to do that, I think. So, we're off to, we're in the arena now of Mindcrime for here. So I will go with track number 2, and this one is You Know My Fucking Name.
my heart was so clear. Now you know who I am and what I stand for. Is there something you forgot to say? Can you say my name? If it's been a while, then I look into my mirror. I've waited for you for so long. Through every idea of love, the lying, the cheating, the straight up deceiving has made me who I have become. I know the pain of your loyalty, the way you scream my name. As you might think I'm the bad guy.
All right. I love how this one starts. That like keyboard riff is so haunting in there. The ringing guitar harmonies are cool. Then you get like a little driving feel. The crash cymbal throughout is very cool. There's dual guitar harmonies in there. So I mean, we're getting several Queensryche-isms right off the bat. Spoken word in there as well. Then the vocals start. I do like the production, the layering of the vocals on here. The guitars got a good crunch to them. And actually, if you even notice, there's a little Tim
Eddie fucking Jackson
bass like run in there. The chorus is I think it's very haunting. Great pace for the verses. I like the crowd sounds and the shouts. I think that part of the production is really cool. There's some really good drum fills throughout. Cool guitar, like a dual guitar solo in there. So I think they're really throwing everything, including the fucking kitchen sink, into this song. I love when it goes back to that haunting keyboard part for like the last part of the song. Picks up tempo at the end there too. I was like, all right, I'm digging this so far. I thought it was a great start. How about you?
Yeah, I think it's a good start to the album too. Like you said, I really like the beginning, how the keyboards just kind of come in with a bump. There's like that really hard beat on the drum and the guitar along with the keyboard doing the little whatever keyboards do. Is that a lick or a chord or whatever it is?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the intro. I like the way it sounds. It sounds very theatrical to me. Like it sounds like something that's starting a very intense, Broadway production, which I'm totally cool with because I love good Broadway productions. It's got a very understated chorus. I think the chorus is cool. Like I've waited for you for so long. But it's very understated. It's very almost mellow, but the music underneath it, I love. Like the keyboards, there's that's kind of those bell sounds. It's really, really cool. I like the way it sounds. I also really enjoy when it picks up, gets a little more intense after the first chorus. I think the solo section is really good. Nice harmonies, nice drumming. The drumming on this album is really good. So Rick Bauer, or Bear, however you say your name, did an excellent job with the drums on this album. Continues to kind of pick up some intensity as it builds to the end. This is one of the songs that I have a little bit of criticism of the production. I think it sounds a little bit thin. It's not terrible, but it's just a little bit more thin than I would like it. And I think that the crowd noises and stuff, while they're fine, I like having that stuff in the song. I think the way they're in the song just sounds very choppy. Like they're kind of very abruptly cut. I don't know if you notice at the end, there's the crowd noise going on, and it starts to fade out. And instead of continuing to fade, it just cuts. And then you've got that little piano outro that they do at the end. It just sounds choppy. I have no problem with the sound effects themselves. I like the the crowd noises and all that stuff, but I just think they could have refined that a little bit more. And that's really the criticism I have of this song. But yeah, overall, I think it's a good start to the album, and I enjoy this song quite a bit. All right, track number 2, The Answer.
There's nothing to be afraid
The Answer has a very nice, heavy, kind of chugging riff that starts it off. I don't know if you noticed, Steve, but the guitars and bass have a little bit of like a fuzzy sound to them, which I kind of like a little bit of distortion. Which, does that go back to the having John Moyer from Disturbed as the producer and one of the guys in the band performing? Disturbed, who I know you love, do a lot of that in their music. So it kind of just reminded me of that, which I will never to this day understand how you like the music that you do, but you don't like Disturbed, which just blows my mind.
They suck.
So yeah, nice heavy nice heavy chugging riff. The guitars, bass are really heavy and crunchy. You get some whoa, whoa, whoas right off the bat, which I know you're a big fan of whoa, whoas, and I'm a big fan of whoa, whoas myself. This song just has a nice bass and drum groove to it. Yeah, Team Whoa, hashtag whoa. Nice bass and drum groove on this song. I think the production is better on this song. This one sounds better. It sounds more crisp. I like the chorus better on this song. It's a little more, it's heavier. It's more up-tempo. The drumming, again, is really strong on this. I think the vocal delivery in the verses is really good. The chorus is solid. Geoff sounds really good. That's one thing I'll point out. In both of these songs, he sounds like Geoff Tate. Doesn't sound like he's struggling. I think he's keeping the music in a range that's comfortable for his voice, which is always a good thing and doesn't always happen on this album, as we'll talk about later. The only criticism I have of the production on this one is there's this really silly like dog barking sound effect on it. I didn't even notice until yesterday. I listened to this album probably 10 times this week. And then yesterday at the gym, I had it like just cranked in my headphones. There's a line that says, "So what did you think was going to happen when you brought the dogs to the table? Now they're on the loose." And like right after that line, there's like a sound effect of like dogs barking, which I just thought was kind of stupid because you're using this metaphor about bringing dogs to the table, but then you're putting like literal dog barking sounds in it. I just thought it was kind of silly. But if you haven't heard that, as I didn't until yesterday, go back and listen to that. But that's really my only criticism of this song. I think The Answer is badass. I love this song.
Yeah, The Answer comes in with a few little snare hits, and you get like a little grinding feel. So whoa, as soon as I hear that, I'm in. Bass is thumping really good for the verses, and I don't hold being in Disturbed against John Moyer. So it's a gig. You know what I mean? I feel bad that you're in Disturbed, but I don't hold it against you. I like the swaying feel. For the chorus, it's got kind of a swaying feel, like a really good like head bobbing feel. I love the line, "Just make sure you're on the right side, my sign." Like really cool lyric in there. And and I'm not really a lyric guy, but that one kind of stuck out to me, and it gives you the that Dr. X feel, like that's him, telling him, just make sure you're on my side. There's some grinding guitars underneath the solo. I really, and I'm digging the lead guitar playing on this album so far. So, and you're right, this one production wise does sound different. Some of the songs sound, I don't think this was recorded all in the same studio. Because I recall it at one point, there was some interview with Geoff, and he said, we kind of recorded this all around the world because like, you heard a while ago that they were working on this album, but you didn't hear that, okay, we're in the studio, or, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't that. There wasn't the, like you hear, like Todd and Michael and stuff saying, now, we're working on songs for the album, and we're going to go in and cut them and this and that. But you just kind of heard, we're working on it from the Geoff Tate camp. And then it was like, all of a sudden, boom, they released Power, and then it's coming out in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it did seem like it came pretty quickly. I actually did a search for that because I was curious about how and where it was recorded. And what I found was, again, this is from a Google search, so it's probably true. It's on the internet. It has to be true.
Absolutely.
Trident Studios in Pacheco, California, served as one of the primary tracking environments where Tate worked alongside guitarist Kieran Robertson, bassist John Moyer, and engineer Juan Ortega. So it sounds like the three of them were in one location at one point. Then Little Creek Studios in Switzerland. Guitarist and producer Kieran Robertson recorded, mixed, and mastered a significant portion of the album at this location. And then Kagem Studios in Gladwin, PA, which is out your way, out near Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And 606 Studio in Northridge, California, used heavily for tracking drums, bass, and rhythm guitars. So it sounds like, it was kind of recorded all over the place. Plus, I'm sure all the demos and everything they did.
Yeah,
while they were on the road or whatever. But
you could tell in points too that it's not the same. Like not a all in one shot. But I dig this track though. I'm 2 for 2 so far. I mean, you can even call
same.
3 for 3 Scene of the Crime, but I mean, that doesn't really count. But good. So far, so good.
Yep.
All right. Track 4, Vulnerable.
How could you be the best of me? I know you know just what I mean. I'll take you further than you've ever been. I'll take you higher than you have ever dreamed. How could you be so The first step is the sweat drips out of every pore. What's next is your life that you leave on the floor. You need to be your addiction. Come see me, I'll give you a prescription. How could you be so
Kind of a melancholy start to this one. Is sort of like a downtrodden feel to it, little hypnotic feel, if you will. Very ethereal feel for the chorus. The bass and the kick drum tone are great on this one. There's some urgent keyboards in there for a couple parts. Once again, we're making great use of the cymbals here. He's got the crash cymbal going on this one. Awesome melodic solo. I like this one too. I like how in the chorus it's like Mindcrime, then it's like my crime. I like that kind of spin on that, where you can easily just take it for Mindcrime, but it's my crime. And I like how that's kind of like thrown in there to kind of get you to listen maybe a little closer. Dig this one too.
Yeah, I totally thought they were saying Mindcrime at the end of this song. The first probably 10 listens to this album, and then I pulled the lyrics off of Spotify, and I was like, oh shit, they're not saying my crime or Mindcrime, they're saying my crime. It really kind of threw me for a loop, because I was thinking originally when I heard this song is the lyric is my life is my crime and my crime is my life. I thought he was saying Mindcrime is my crime and my life is Mindcrime and Mindcrime is my life. And I was thinking, what a statement for Geoff Tate to write as a lyric, because it's really, if you think about the last few years, that's been the case, because they've been touring the shit out of the original Mindcrime album. He's been working on this one. It's probably the most lasting and most memorable piece of his legacy, is Operation Mindcrime. So I thought that was a really kind of telling lyric, but then I read it, and it's like, it's my crime. I was like, oh, well, fuck, that just throws that out the window. So I'm sure that's probably what he was going for, just to kind of throw you off a little bit. The bass tone on this song is really good. It's got I use the word atmospheric again. I like your ethereal word. It's just very dark sounding. It's got another one of those kind of weird understated choruses. Like there's not much going on in the chorus. It's just kind of like, how could you be so vulnerable? And it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't land well with me on this one. It's not a bad song. I like a lot of elements to this song. To me, it's just a little disappointing. It never really goes anywhere. Like I'm waiting for this song to okay, I got this weird kind of melancholy is a good word that you used. Like it's got this melancholy feel to it. it's going to get me somewhere by the end. And it just kind of doesn't. It just keeps going and going. You just keep getting that same feel for the chorus. You do get the my life is my crime and my crime is my life part at the end, but it just kind of fits in with that overall structure. I was just waiting for this song to take off, and it never did. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite. It just kind of doesn't go anywhere. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. It does have a very quick kind of Sweet Sister Mary sounding riff in it. I don't know if you caught that. There's like a little which sounds a lot like the Sweet Sister Mary riff. I think it's right before one of the choruses. There's some old school Geoff Tate high notes going on underneath the kind of that melancholy chorus, which I really like. It's good to hear him hitting some of those notes. But yeah, overall, Vulnerable is a little bit of a letdown for me after the first two. I think of the first 3 full songs, this is by far my least favorite. Okay, moving on to the next track, we've got one called I'll Eat Your Heart Out. My first note is I hate the title of this song. I don't know. That's just a very overused phrase. I just don't care for it. I think you could have come up with something better than that. But other than that, the song is really good. I really like the riff that opens this one. It's kind of got like almost like a stuttery kind of groove to it. It's a heavier song, but it's still mid-tempo, and that's kind of one of the things we've experienced so far. The Answer is a little bit more up-tempo, but the majority of these first few songs are really in that mid-tempo range. There's not a lot of variety in the speed of the songs or the heaviness of the songs. They're all kind of in that same place. I really like the overall vibe of this song. It's just it paints a good picture. We get our first good female vocals of the album. It's kind of like a haunting, kind of chanty kind of thing that comes in that I really like. It sounds really good. There's some really cool effects on some of Geoff Tate's vocals. We get our first mention of Mary. There's a problem with Mary. She's a risk we both know. There is a crazy guitar solo in this song, which I love. It just kind of turns into like almost a thrash song. The guitar solo has got the kind of normal, plinky diddly notes in it, but underneath it is like the band is just going off. It's like thrash style drumming and the rhythm guitar under it's very thrashy. I think the mention of Mary on this song, and let's bring this up here. Lyrically so far, are you getting much Mindcrime tie-in, Steve, on the first 4 songs or so? Like, does this feel like the Mindcrime story being told from Dr. X's perspective to you?
No, it doesn't. It's I don't know. It's like Mindcrime story-ish, but like not. I don't think from Dr. X, like, you know, like the my crime is my life and all that stuff. I get that kind of ties it in, but not really. To me, it's just like a rock album, like I don't know, like Mindcrime II was like, you know, we talked about the convolutedness of the story on that one. This one is like following that. I think I'm not getting the, you know, I figured there'd be like the recruitment and the, you know, this is how, like, I'm thinking my initial thoughts on this album were going to be like, okay, so now we're going to hear why Dr. X is doing what he does. Like, you know what I mean? Like the reasons behind him doing this stuff. And
yes,
I'm
the
not
motivation. Yeah. And that's
right.
what I was hoping
like
for too.
How did he get to do this stuff?
Yeah. How did he become Dr. X? How did Operation Mindcrime, the organization, start? You know, what were the motivations for it?
Right.
Why,
and is he
why
really
did
a doctor?
he decide to do that? Maybe he's a podiatrist, I think.
You know, like Dr. Evil, like, you know what I mean? He died, you know, and he's an evil doctor.
He might just be a PhD. Who knows? The one thing that bugs me about this album so far is I'm just not getting that. And that's what, you know, he hyped this up as being like, this is the story from Dr. X's perspective. Okay, awesome. That sounds great. I'd much rather have that than a sequel, you know, trying to,
Right.
Remember at the end of Operation Mindcrime 2 when Mary and Nikki killed themselves or they're both dead? Well, now they're back to life and, you know, we're going to do a Star Wars, you know, bring Emperor Palpatine back from the final chapter.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't do that. I was looking forward to the Dr. X perspective. I really wanted to hear, how did this organization begin? You know, what were the motivations behind it? How did he build it? You know, who was the first person? You know, Nikki wasn't the first guy involved in this. It sounded like it was going on before Nikki was involved. You know, how did he decide to target the type of people that he did? And that sort of thing. Like, how did he first meet Nikki and Mary and all this stuff? Like, there's none of that. And it's just, it's like thematically, like there's a lot of thematic elements to the lyrics that, like you said, kind of make you feel Mindcrime-ish, but it doesn't really tell you anything in terms of a story. And that's
Doesn't
my
get into the
biggest
weeds.
problem with this. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with this album is I thought this was going to be like a real story from Dr. X's perspective. And like, you know, this is why I do what I do and how I do it. And there's just none of that. It's just a lot of very like fringe stuff. Like it's kind of connected, but it really isn't. And it doesn't really say anything in terms of story. I think the first song, You Know My Fucking Name, is, you know, kind of probably of all of the songs, the one that's most tied to that. But then in this one, so we get this random Mary reference in the middle of this song. Up to that point, the lyrics are, to be humbled and stumble in the face of it all. I watch you crumble. I watch you shatter. I watch you fall. Okay, which I kind of get. That kind of ties in if you're breaking somebody down, making them a part of your organization that kills people for a living. If you think you're stronger than me, I dare you to come and test your fate. If you think you are stronger together, I swear I'll tear you apart. Which, okay, that's maybe a reference to Nikki and Mary together, without naming them. Underneath your creeping silence, there's a hollow place you go. And then all of a sudden, like, there's a problem. There's a problem with Mary. She's a risk, we both know. Okay, we've kind of heard that line before. And then that's it. If you think you're stronger than me, I dare you to come and test your fate. Goes back into the chorus. Then he gets into Mary will always come back to me. But there's nothing like even tying Nikki, Mary, Dr. X. Like, this is the first reference of it, and it just is kind of out of nowhere. And it just kind of, for me, it just kind of throws me because as soon as I hear her name, I start thinking, oh, did I miss something? Like, did I miss something in some of the other lyrics? Go back and listen. But no, this is just it, just out of the blue. So that's my biggest problem with this album, and maybe that's my own fault because I had the expectations I set for myself based on things that he said in interviews. But this was going to be a heavy, darker story told from Dr. X's perspective. Maybe I wasn't understanding. I thought we were going to get Dr. X's perspective of the original story and some explanation and some insight. And I don't think we get any of that on this album at all. But All that said, I'll Eat Your Heart Out is a great song. I really dig it. I like the guitar solo on this one is my favorite part of this song for sure, and one of my favorite parts of the album. So what do you think, Steve? I went on forever on that one.
All right. I'll Eat Your Heart Out. I keep on thinking of Dio's You'll Eat Your Heart Out. That song is like playing in my head right now, and I can't even think how this one goes because it's in there. Good riff to start, though. Another mid-tempo grinding feel. And, and I got to admit, Tim, we're not getting any rocker drivel so far in this album. There's no, and I had this as a complaint that the instance we're kind of complaining right now. I'll throw it in now. You don't have the needle lies. You don't have speak. You know what I mean? You don't have that on this album. And it does feel like Mary's just kind of shoved in here. It's like, okay, we're on the 5th song, so we gotta shoehorn her in somewhere. So let's do it now. It kind of feels like she just kind of flung into the mix, like just because we got to get her in there. I'm not sure how you would do it otherwise, truthfully, but and I'm kind of with you that the interviews and what you've heard and read and has been said about this album before its release, it does put your expectations to that. Okay, this is going to be, like you said, like the darker feel, and like I was talking about, like, okay, so we're going to get like the origins of Dr. X, because I love origin stuff. Like when The Walking Dead first came on TV, I was dying to know how the hell did this thing get started? Because like Rick wakes up in the hospital and the world's gone fucking bananas. Like I just love to know origins of stuff like that. So that's what I was looking forward to on this album. Like, okay, so now we're gonna see, like, was Dr. X a real doctor? Was, how did, what happened to him? Did like a wife or family member get killed because of some political bullshit or something like that? Like was that the catalyst to launch him into this? Like, but we're not getting that. But I blame Geoff Tate in the hype for this album, because that's what I thought I was going to get. So
yes.
Okay, back to the song.
You know what it reminds me of is, do you remember when Blackie Lawless first announced like the big American tour, the first time he came back to America after not playing here for so long? He hyped that fucking tour up like it was going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen. We've got this, we've got that. And when you get there, it was a good show, other than depending on what your thoughts are on using backing tracks, which you obviously did, but like it was very underwhelming. Like I was expecting everything from like, past tours and the raw meat and this kind of stuff. It was just like, it's just a backdrop of a circus basically, and we're going to play these songs. It was good. It was a good show, but it wasn't anything near what you hyped. And I feel kind of the same way about this.
Underwhelming according to the hype, yeah. And that Wasp show, I want to say that at the beginning of that tour, he had like a long set list and stuff. And I want to say our buddy Uncle Steve saw one of those first 2 shows in Texas.
He did.
And then after that, he started scaling it back. Just a little Wasp tangent there. But I want to say our buddy Uncle Steve saw one of those shows.
They did 7 songs.
But, by the time we saw him, I'm like, okay, it's a good Wasp show. He's got Elvis, the big spring thing, but he's not really using it because I know he's had back problems and shit. He did some shows in Europe sitting on a fucking chair, but he didn't cancel the shows, so still did the shows, but underwhelmed for sure on that. Back to this one. I love I don't even know what to call it. When Cloda sings you get that kind of like and it's got like a Mid-Eastern feel to it. I think when she does that.
Yeah.
Does that like tie it to like terrorism? I don't know, like from that part of the world or something. I don't know why that feel is in there, because you don't get that in anything else in Mindcrime, which it sounds cool, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. Then the tempo picks up in the middle of the song. Great musical bridge towards the end with some cool double bass drumming for the solo. The solo absolutely rips, but it's so short. It's like, okay, I'm finally getting some sub rocker drivel here, but then it's really short. I'm like, if they zip that out like maybe 3 or 4 more bars or something like that, it would have been like, fuck yeah. It's still fuck yeah, but it would have been fuck yeah. If you catch my meaning there. But I like how, and then you get those female like moaning effects at the end too. And I think she got a fantastic voice. That's what I got for I'll Eat Your Heart Out. Yeah, stupid title, by the way. All right, we are blowing through this album pretty quick here, even with our tangents. Track number 6, Do You Still Believe?
I see you there with that rosary wrapped round your neck. I feel your fear because you don't know what's coming next. Was there once a time when you believed? Do you still believe in God? Do you still believe in God? I don't anymore. I don't believe in anything.
You still control me, even though you're never there. You always own me, and my soul lives in fear. I have no faith anymore.
Do you still believe in God? I don't anymore. I don't believe in anything.
All right, we get a little piano start. Has a little Someone Else feel to it, I think. This is a production thing for me here. Like Geoff's first vocals are kind of muddled for the first couple lines for me. I don't know if it's my shitty hearing or if it's just a production thing. At about 1:15, the drums come in. I don't know. You talked about the drumming before, Ray. I think at times I'm thinking these drums are programmed on this album at points. Especially the drum tone on this one when they finally come in. They have a programmed feel for me. I hope they're live, but they have that feel for me. We get the Clota vocals in here. They're fantastic. I would have loved to have Pamela Moore back for this. No disrespect for Clota, for sure. She's awesome, but you're so used to Pamela Moore, Mindcrime, and we're not getting that. I don't know if she wasn't available or whatever. That's my thought on her. I like the kick up. There's some ripping leads that go like into a dual guitar harmony towards the end there. Very Queensryche like. I think this one is like, okay, we need to get a Queensryche feel back into this album. And you get it here. The chorus is really good. I like the kind of dreamy feel to this one. So I'm not hating anything yet.
Yeah,
what do you
same.
got?
I think this is another solid track. You know me, piano intro and Geoff Tate singing. I'm all in from the minute it starts. I love me a nice piano song. Geoff sounds great on this song. I get what you're saying. It is a little rough at the beginning. I think it's more of a production issue than a performance issue. This is one of those songs that I think suffers from the production of this album. It's not really even the production, it's more the arrangement. This song is kind of all over the place. which you mentioned something about it, like has kind of a dreamy feel to it. And maybe that's why, because, when you have a dream, 1 minute you're dreaming one thing and then the next minute you're like riding on the back of a giant salamander or some stupid shit, it's just weird things happen in dreams. So maybe that's why it kind of goes all over the place. I don't know. This is kind of choppy to me. Like 1 minute it's like a haunting piano ballad and it's awesome. Then it gets heavy, which I love. Then out of nowhere it turns into like a flamenco guitar song just for a few seconds. It's like, what the hell's that about? And then it gets kind of back into the piano-y ballad space. So it's kind of all over the place. I don't love that part of it, but I love the individual pieces of it are all cool, but it just doesn't really fit together well for me. But we get the rosary wrapped around your neck reference. You have one of those coming. The vocals are great on both sides. Clodagh sounds fantastic on this song. Geoff sounds great. It's got a nice dramatic pickup to it. I think the feel of the song overall is pretty good. There's one harmony vocal they do. They say, "Don't believe in anything." It's so badass. Like right before the guitar solo when they hit the "Don't believe in anything."
Yeah.
It's very Mindcrime sounding also. It sounds like a Jeff Pamela during Sweet Sister Mary type harmony. Jeff's got to jam that word junkie in. He's got to write the word junkie in every lyric he possibly can. Throws that in here again. But yeah, I think this song kills. I love it. One of my favorites on the album. This is the one that kind of grabbed me right away. Other than those couple little minor criticisms I had of it off the top. But yeah, Do You Still Believe is classic Operation Mindcrime-y Geoff Tate, Queensryche sounding material. And I think it's really, really strong. Next up, The Devil's Breath.
That brought you to me. What I have brings only opportunity. It'll make you invincible, and you take away what you take away. Won't you save me? Save you? It's all in your mind. Won't you save me? If you dig down too deep, you might not like what you find. There's only nightmares and only tears. Whatever you thought you needed, it's here. You don't need your name, you don't need your sight. There's no more daylight.
All right, so this one, we're getting some serious Mindcrime vibes on this one, I think. The bass, the drums, the melody, to me, is very reminiscent of I Don't Believe in Love, just the way it sounds. There's kind of like the light strumming chords and picking during the verses. It's just so very reminiscent of Mindcrime. I love the Hope You Save Me backing vocals, kind of like a little gang backing vocal, call and response kind of thing, which is really cool. There's kind of that gang chorus of "Don't you want to change the world" is what they're saying, and then Geoff Tate does like a little call and response thing over the chorus, which I think just the overall arrangement of that background vocal and the lead vocal is really, really good on this song. There's a part after the chorus where it's like a little bass break. If you listen to it, man, it reminds me of the song I-9 from the the new version of Queensryche. Which whenever we had, I think, Cousin Gary from Asylum on, that was one of the songs we had recommended he listen to. And he said he couldn't get into that song because it reminded him of the bass, the riff of Down With the Sickness by Disturbed. And I'm thinking, well, that bass sounds just like I-9, which sounds like Down With the Sickness. So is it just because of who was playing it or what? But it just really reminded me of that. It's like a little spoken word piece after it that flows into the solo. It's just a little do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. It just really reminds me of both of those songs. Really, fast riffing and drumming going on underneath the solo. The solo is very melodic, but there's like some chaos going on underneath it, which I like. But yeah, this is another good one, man. I really like The Devil's Breath. The only real criticism I have of the heavier songs on this album is they're all in that lane of being kind of mid-tempo. Like you said, we need a Needle Lies. We need a... what's another hard, heavy, fast song?
Speak.
Yeah, Speak. Yeah, we need something like that, like in the middle of all these songs to really help the pacing of it. But they're all decent songs on their own. I just think as an album, the pacing of it just kind of drags a little bit in the middle because all these songs are very similar in tempo and song structure, actually, because you think they all start out kind of heavy. Then they go down for the vocals, in the chorus, and they get picked back up for the for the verses. They get a little mellower, then they pick back up for the chorus, which is something we've talked about numerous times on this show, that we're not huge fans of that when it happens over and over and over again on an album. And I think that's kind of one of the things that this album is doing, is it's kind of getting into that pattern a little too frequently. But yeah, on their own, each one of these songs is pretty good.
Yeah, we're sticking to that formula a lot here, and it is getting a little long in the tooth for me. This one starts out with some little plinky guitar build into the song with some crunchy chords and thumping bass and drums. Total Mindcrime feel to this one, sort of call and response with Geoff in the background vocals. This is not a favorite of mine on this one. The spoken word part before the solo, and then the drums go into a tribal kind of a spreading the disease, the feel to it there, with the leads playing.
I really like that part.
Yeah, I do like that part. That kind of brings it back a little bit for me. It's a good one. Not a favorite because this feels like we're trying too hard to Mindcrimeify this album. And
get that.
I mean, but I mean, on the other hand, if Geoff Tate is doing an Operation Mindcrime album, doesn't sound like Queensryche, then like, why are we even doing this? So it's kind of like a catch-22
we'd be
for
bitching.
me. Yeah. So it's like kind of a catch-22 for me. I mean, I like the song. It's not a favorite on the album though, but getting that blender going again to throw these different elements in. And I think this one tries just a little bit too hard. But I do like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like it. And that, like I said, those tribal drums, they're kind of like spreading the disease. I do like how that there are different elements that you could pick out like this on this album. At some points, I think it needs to be its own thing. And we do need that Speak. We do need that Needle Lies just to fucking break it up because, mid-tempo with a ripping part in the middle, then mid-tempo. You know what I mean? We need just that at least one straightforward rocker on this album, which we're not getting. But if you're just listening to this album as an album and not thinking everything like we are, like trying to, pick apart every goddamn thing, like, because that's what we're here for. But like, if you just throw this on, so far it's just, nothing I'm skipping.
Yeah, same here. And I think that goes back to the hype and the pre-release promotion that he did for this album, because he himself said, this is some of the heaviest stuff we've written in a long time. I'm thinking, all right, cool, let's go. And I love rocker drivel just like you do, Steve. But at the same time, I appreciate all different styles of songs and things, which I know you do too. We just bust each other's balls around it. But I need some rocker drivel on this one. I need something to punch me in the face, And right now they're just like jabbing me in the stomach over and over again.
You're just getting poked.
I need a good. Yeah, I'm getting poked with a stick instead of punched in the face, and I need to be punched in the face at least once here somewhere. And it hasn't happened yet. And quite frankly, it really doesn't the rest of the way through. Oh, well, I guess there's a couple songs that pick up a little bit, but we'll get into those here in a minute. But yeah, that's my biggest criticism of this album is it's not as heavy as it was promised to be.
Right.
Either thematically or musically.
100%. All right. Track number 8, Ascension. This is just a quick little interlude. I'm surprised we didn't get an interlude before this. I mean, we have the thing at the beginning is you're going to get. I figured we would have this type of thing earlier in the album. I guess it breaks it up a little bit. It doesn't really add anything to the story. It's just another, like, I don't know, 1:20 or something like that you're like, okay, I guess that's what I got. Meh.
Yeah, my notes say, nice acoustic piece, not much to it. That's pretty much it. But yeah, like, why don't you just make this the intro to the next song? Why does it have to be its own track? I guess you're doing Ascension and Dissension, so you wanted to do something like that. But I don't know. Yeah, it's just an interlude piece. It's acoustic. It doesn't really do much, but it sounds good. I like the way it sounds. Guitars sound good. All right, next actual track is called Set You Free.
There's no peace you've ever known. The chains of madness are your home. When you can't escape your own mind, the future is uncertainty. The past a haunting memory. Now what do you do with your life? I warned you, there's no other way. I warn you that there's nowhere safe. I warn you that there will come this day. I set you free and make you whole again. I set you free and take away your pain.
All right, so Set You Free. This is this song's got a kind of almost like a pop hook to it, I think. This is a very, I would think, radio-friendly type song. I like the main riff. It's got kind of a very subtle, I don't know if it's like keyboards or something like the creepy choir we're used to in Mindcrime at the beginning. Very subtle, though. It doesn't like come out and hit you over the head with it. Really nice hi-hat work on this song. Very good drumming in general. The guitar work on this song, you mentioned it before, the soloing throughout this album is really good, which I totally agree with. I think they do a great job with the guitar solos. But the hi-hat work and the drumming, especially like in the pre-chorus, that combined with the guitar stuff that's going on is really, really solid. This one has a great dirty bass tone to it. I think they did a good job of capturing that nice bass tone that we're used to in Queensryche and Queensryche adjacent music. It's got a good, catchy melodic chorus. The I'll set you free and make you whole again. I'll set you free and take away your pain. Very catchy, very sing-along. But again, this is another song, like as it's halfway through, I'm thinking this song is going to take off at the end and something cool is going to happen, but it never does. It's just the same chorus, verse over and over again. And again, the solo is good. The chorus is good. I just want it to go to another level, like shift it into another gear, and it just never does. So it just never quite pays off, but I think it's a really good song. I think that it's very catchy, very melodic. This is one of my only real criticisms of vocals on this album. At the end of the song, he goes back into there's like 3 more I'll Set You Frees at the end where he keeps getting higher and higher. The first 2 sound great or fine. The last one's rough, man. That last I'll Set You Free, like they needed like another take on that one or a different approach to that note. I don't think it's very good, and it does not sound very good, and it's not a great way to end this song. But up to that point, this is a solid track. I just wish it would go somewhere more than it does. What do you got?
All right. I don't have a lot for this track, by the way. Set You Free, crunchy guitars, some muted leads playing in there to the kick in. And, you know, when I say kick in, we don't get a kick in. It just kind of kicks in. Just kind of floats in there. Another mid-tempo feel song. There's like a sort of like shuffling drum feel for the verses, which is pretty cool. That's the hi-hat and the shit you're talking about there. I like the pace of the chorus, and I have rough vocal at the end. I'm like, okay, we can just Pro Tool that out of there. that last one.
That last I'll Set You Free is rough, man.
Yeah, I don't have a lot for this one. It's all right. It's not a standout, and I'll just say that. It's a decent deep track, but it's not a skipper, but not a standout. All right, I seem to be getting the interludes here. So, you know, we didn't get one early in the album, but we got 2 within 3 songs here. Descension, this one is. And another interlude, but at least it's got some ripping guitars and some cool soloing in it. Yeah, that's really all I have for that one. And that's all I got to say about that.
Cool solo at the beginning. It's another quick instrumental interlude. It's the instead of acoustic, it's electric. It's basically an electric version of Ascension, but it's a little bit longer and it's got a little more tweedly-deedly stuff in it as far as guitar playing goes. But it's cool. It is what it is. It's a quick little dissension.
I think that by doing Ascension and Descension, they were thinking, okay, when Ray and Steve review this, we're going to give them a break, give them 2 little quick things to do so the episode's not 3 hours long. I think that's why they're in there.
Oh, you think they had us in mind when they were putting this album together?
I think so.
I like that.
Except for the rocker dribble part. They figure they're going to fuck with me on that part.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck Steve. We're not giving him any rocker drivel. All right, next track. This was the lead single that we all probably heard prior to getting the album. This is Power.
up to them and it's all gone. But baby, now that you can find your home, you'll trust that I will not leave you alone. We speak the word power. The word is whatever the fuck I want it to be. We need the word power. The word is
All right, so yeah, we did bring power up on one of our earlier episodes when it first came up. We didn't really get into it, just kind of gave a very brief reaction to it. But I think this song's badass. I think it's a great selection to be the first single from the album. I like the intro. This one has kind of a spreading the disease or speakish kind of intro, which I'm really excited about as I hear it. Nice heavy beginning, then hit the brakes, time for the verses, and we got to get mellow again. And that's exactly what this song does, just like just about every other song on this album. Then, it picks up again as it gets back into the chorus later on. I think Geoff sounds great on this one. I think there's that nice hey at the beginning, which I love. Give me a nice gang vocal hey, and I'm all in. I dig that. Always reminds me of like early Motley Crue when they used to do that kind of stuff a lot. Again, similar song structure, heavy, then way down for verses, then back to heavy again. It's got a nice bass drum groove. That's one thing I think the rhythm section on this album is really solid. You mentioned before about using programmed drums. I was thinking as I'm listening to some of these songs sound very similar to the way his drums sound in concert now when he's got the guys using the electronic kit, which I was fooled. I apologize to Logan, who criticized the electronic drums when he called in about the tour. I said, well, when I saw them, they were acoustic drums. They just look like acoustic drums. They're not.
Yeah. Look at the
I
cymbals.
learned after the fact.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just didn't notice that whenever I saw them live. So yeah, Logan, you were right. And I watched, there's actually a video on YouTube of them recording the drums for this album. And the guy's absolutely playing a kit that looks like an acoustic drum set with real cymbals. I forget which song it is that they're doing, but there's a really good video of him just rocking out on the drums. But then there are parts of this album where it sounds electronic. So I don't know if it's a mix of the two or if it's just the way they were recorded and produced. I'm not sure, but I meant to mention that before whenever you brought that up. I totally forgot. So yeah, can't really tell what's going on with the drums, but the playing of the drums is very good. Great grooves with the bass player. I love the lyric, "We speak the word is whatever the fuck I want it to be." I think that's an absolute direct callback to, Speak the Word Revolution, or Dr. X is basically saying, nah, it's not revolution, it's whatever I say it's going to be, which I think is pretty cool. I think that's a really nice tie-in. This song's a real earworm for me. The chorus of this song, I've been singing it since it came out in my head, and it's been stuck in my head all this week as I've been binging this album. But yeah, I think Power is a really, really solid track. I question its placement on the album. This is another one of those, like, this one ties in a little more than a lot of the other songs do lyrically. I don't understand why this song is so deep in the album. Like, to me, this feels like it should be, he's ascending to power, not after the song called Dissension. So I don't know. It's just the pacing and the tracks order selection on this album just don't make a lot of sense to me. And that's mostly because the lyrics really don't tell any type of story. It's all kind of, like I said before, thematic elements that kind of have a Mindcrime feel to them that, yeah, if you read it one way, it could be from Dr. X's perspective, but it really doesn't tell any kind of cohesive story at all. And that's frustrating. But this one, I think if it's more towards the front end of the album, it kind of gives you more of a Dr. X ascending to power feel. So what do you got on Power?
All right, yeah, Power. Yeah, and I have very, very first thing. This is like the beginnings, like Speak Part 2. This is definitely the most up-tempo song on the album in parts. Then boom, it goes down. And like for the first part there, Jeff's vocals sound very strangled to me. The very first vocals on this one. I like the chorus. It even says speak in the chorus. And I have in here too, the word is whatever the fuck I want it to be. That's a great line. Great word play there that ties into to Mindcrime 1. Some cool ringing chords when the verse comes back in. And I have it too. You get the good gang, hey, Team Hey as well.
Yep.
And they're dual guitars for the start of the solo. Great layering in there. I think the production on that part is really good. Then there's some like really killer ripping dual guitars again. Like the solo section is just fantastic on this one. And yeah, and you would think you have Ascension, then you have, what do you got? Set You Free, then Descension, then Power. You think if you're ascending to something, you would ascend to Power and have Power next, and then Descension puts Set You Free in there. You know what I mean? Like you're descending, so you're letting something go. I don't know. That's just my kind of thinking on that. And yeah, I mean, we're getting another song where we're getting elements of Mindcrime, but it's not, I don't know, it's just here and there things. You know what I mean? It's not like a straightforward story of what we were hyped up to get. You know, I mean, I know I'm hammering this to death, but you know, especially for a song, and you're right on this song. This is track 11 on this album. There's 13 tracks in this album. This is track 11. And so like you're waiting 10 songs, 3 interludes, so 7 songs, really 7 proper songs. And you're finally getting like this is like what I was hoping for. But, and then again, you get the killer stuff and then down for the verse. Why can't we just keep a tempo through a whole fucking song for once here? That's a criticism that I have on a lot of stuff that I want a straightforward song. You don't need to go down for the vocals, you know, just like give us a straightforward song. Give us that, you know, what they say, like the 4 on the floor, you know, I mean, I know that's not what they do, but like, I'm kind of craving that at this point, and I'm not getting that, but, I do like this one.
For me,
though.
this song should be, this one I think does tie into a Dr. X type story. Like this should be like the second song on this album. Like, You Know My Fucking Name, I think works as an opener. But lyrically, this song is like, you know, the world is all wrong in my mind. There doesn't seem to be any light in life. Remember when you called this place a home? We left it up to them and it's all gone. Like there's a great tie-in right there. You know, we rely on these people we elect as leaders to represent us and to govern, and look what they do, you know. And it kind of speaks to why this organization exists, you know, and as Operation Mindcrime. So this one lyrically, I think, is the biggest tie-in, or could have been. You know, it's ascension to power, or it's, you know, desiring power. It's just placed poorly on the album. Like you said, what is 11th? I don't know why this song is 11th on this record. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So, but it's a good one. I mean, it was a great song, great choice for the single for sure. It's just poorly placed on the album. This is more of like an intro to the story type song than a track 11 song.
Yeah, and your first single is like track 11 on the album. Like, I don't know. It seems weird to me, but I dig it though. All right. I seem to be getting all the interlude shit here today.
You sure are.
Track number 12. Yeah. Track number 12, which you heard a skewed version of that at the beginning of the show, if you lasted this long. You Can't Walk Away Now.
Hello? You sound tired, Mickey.
I didn't sleep.
You don't need sleep. You need to focus.
I did what you asked. Every name, every target. You said it would mean something.
It does. Change is never comfortable.
That senator, he had a family.
And he was poisoning thousands. You were moved to cancer.
That's what you keep telling me. The cause, the cure. But it's getting harder to see the difference.
You're slipping.
I'm waking up.
Careful. You wouldn't be here without me. You were nothing before I found you.
I remember what I was.
Do you? A junkie? No direction? No purpose? I gave you clarity.
You gave me a needle and a mission.
And you took both.
I believed you.
And you still do.
Mary says
too much.
She thinks we're not fixing anything. She thinks that you're replacing one monster for another.
Mary's confused. Emotional. You can't afford emotion.
She's the only real thing left in my life.
she's a liability.
She's a person.
And people are weak.
Maybe that's what makes them worth saving.
You're questioning me?
I'm questioning everything.
Without me, you're nothing.
Maybe, but at least I'd be nothing on my own terms.
You think you could just walk away?
Can't I?
You know too much.
So what now? Another name? Another cancer?
One final task.
There's always one final task.
Yes. But this one is different.
Who?
Mary.
You're lying.
Am I?
You said she didn't matter.
She matters now.
You set this up.
I set everything up.
You don't control me.
Don't I?
We're sorry. The number you have dialed is not in service.
This is what it comes down to. This is like the bzzz, you know, the limo pulls up and, you know, type thing. Talking to Nikki on Mindcrime 1, but this is the phone call, obviously, when you hear it. I like the hesitation in Nikki's voice. Dr. X is trying to, you know, he's trying to buck the system here, and Dr. X is trying to reel him back in. They've already had this conversation, right? At the limo about getting rid of Mary. So is this an earlier one from like when Mindcrime starts, or does he have to do this again? You know, it's weird for me. It's cool to hear the voices and stuff, but I don't know if it really makes any sense for the placement, because they talked about this on the first one. I don't know. What do you think? Are you as confused as me?
Yeah. I don't know if I call it confused or frustrated at this point. I want to hear Dr. X's story from his perspective. This is, like you said, it's cool. It's fun to hear Dr. X and Nikki talking again. It's Geoff Tate doing both voices, right? It sounds like, to me anyway.
Well, I don't know.
I think it is. I may be wrong, but there's certain points for each part that sound like him. But this conversation is completely pointless. Like, this is everything we've already heard before. It's cool because it's them talking, but it doesn't take us anywhere we haven't already been. Like you said, like you get on the first album, you get the window going down and, you know, kill Mary and get the priest as well. You get the whole thing. And here we are having the same conversation again. So like you said, is this an earlier conversation before that? Like, did I not make myself clear the first time to kill Mary? And I guess this would be the first conversation. Then the one we hear on Operation Mindcrime 1 would be would you just fucking go in there and do it? So I don't know. I don't understand why this is here, other than fan service callback to let's hear the voices and hear them talk. But could we have had a better conversation where it actually made sense and told something we haven't already said? And that's the thing that the frustration grows as this album goes on, is there's nothing on here that tells a story or tells me anything I don't already know.
Right. Like, how about like a conversation would have been cool, like say like in the beginning, like towards the beginning, like of him trying to recruit Nikki, like giving his, you know, you need to do this, we need you because of this, you know what I mean? Like that would have been perfect. But like we said, this is just shit that we've gone over before.
Or a conversation with him and Mary, you know, like how did he get involved with a former prostitute turned nun,
right?
Turned, you know, whatever she is now. Like how did that happen? How did this guy who's this leader of this, you know, uprising, this political organization that's got a revolution calling, like how did he meet this nun junkie, to use Geoff Tate's favorite word? Like how that happened? I'd really like to know that. We never really get that story. Like we know she's a part of the story, but we don't know why. How did he get involved with the priest? You know, how, like you said, how did he first recruit Nikki to the thing? Like, how did Nikki hear about Operation Mindcrime? Like, was it a flyer? Was it an ad in the paper?
Right.
You know, was it subliminal advertising while you're watching late night TV? I mean, that's the kind of shit that I wanted. And this is just we're going to have the same conversation again that we already had on Operation Mindcrime 1. We're just going to make it a little bit longer. And it actually is too long, too. I think this goes on about 30 seconds too long. It could be much tighter, as evidenced by our brilliant acting at the top of this episode. That intro was probably 3 times as long as any intro we've ever had on this show. But yeah, it's like, I don't need this, honestly. Like, it's pointless. Other than hearing their voices, there's no point to this at all. Okay, A Monster Like Me is the final track. We're thinking, a monster like me. Let's rock and roll.
Let's not.
Never found it easy. Fashions of the heart. Where is the beginning? Where does one start? I light another candle, try to burn away my sin. Drink the blood and eat the dead. I'll try anything to ease the state that I'm in. Somewhere I've lost my innocence. Your face, your laugh reminds me so. How could you ever believe that there could be someone like me?
Nope. What do we get instead? Saxophone. Angry Guy Scott made him happy. I doubt he even made it this far on this album. I saw his initial thoughts on Facebook, and he was not very complimentary.
I saw it, but I didn't read it. I will read it now.
Oh,
Scott.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monster Like Me starts very mellow, stays very mellow. It's a sax solo at the beginning. Vocally, Geoff sounds really good. There's a little callback to lighting candles, that sort of thing. Again, it feels like it's going to go somewhere. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have a big, even if it's a slow song, we're going to get that build, and eventually it's going to just explode, and nope, it just ends. It just, oh shit, this is the last song on the album? Like, there's nothing else? Like, it just ends. There's nothing about this song that ties me to Dr. X other than, okay, you're a monster, whatever. It's not a terrible song. It's just a terrible album closer. It's a terrible ending to the story. Geoff Tate to me is the Stephen King of track ordering. Stephen King can't write a fucking ending of a book to save his life that makes any sense or has any kind of payoff or satisfaction. And Geoff Tate has done this now on 2 consecutive Mindcrime sequels, prequels, whatever you want to call them. Like, 2 ends with an absolute thud, and this one ends with an absolute thud. And it's not the quality of the song. It's a fine song. He sounds good. The vocals are good. The performance is decent. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just a dud. Like, it's just, this album ends, after being pretty strong throughout, just ends with an absolute thud.
Dude. Yeah, Monster Like Me, I'm like, okay, this one's going to be cool. They're going to end with like a Eyes of the Stranger and then the crescendo at the end, and then get the piano to start off, very mellow feel to it. I'm like, okay, so now I'm thinking So now we're going to get like a Someone Else where it's going to like, where how he kind of ramps it up. I mean, it's not a rocker like Someone Else, but like you get that more kind of feel to it. But we do not. The band comes in with like a real melancholy feel. And I have in my notes too, with some of Angry Guy Scott's favorite, saxophone. I do like Jeff's vocals on this one. Very atmospheric, reflective feel to it. But like it doesn't advance anything. It just
or end anything.
Like, yeah, there's nothing wraps up on this. If there was a cohesive story, whatever, this would sure as hell not wrap it up at all. So I don't know. It's a decent song. It's okay, but you're right. That thud is like just echoing through the fucking Grand Canyon. Just like if you dropped a bag of flour off a 10-story building, that's what the sound you would get at the end.
Like David Letterman used to do.
Yeah. Just, it's a big ball of oil. Throw it out the window. I'm like, I was left scratching my head at the end of the album overall, but especially this song, I'm like, okay, what does it do for me for the story? Nothing. What's it do for me for a super enjoyable song? No. Like I said, I
and who is he singing this song to? Is this like Dr. X addressing Mary or Nikki, or who is this? Like, what is this?
Or is he singing to himself?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have the answers. We're gonna have to wait for Operation Mindcrime 4 to find all this shit out.
I really hope that doesn't happen. I got to be honest at this point.
We need to let it rest.
I love me some Mindcrime, and I do enjoy this album pretty much from start to finish, except for the few criticisms that we had. This does nothing to further the story of Operation Mindcrime. It's just a decent Geoff Tate solo album is what this is. Like, it's not, this does nothing for Mindcrime as far as I'm concerned, the story or the legacy.
No. And I have this for my final notes, but I'll just throw it out there now. Because I know he's touring, he's coming around again, because I think he's playing, I don't know, September, October, maybe even early November by us. And I mean, I'll go, but it's going to be interesting to see, because I know he'll be, because we got we did the last time he played, we got Mindcrime, and then we got some Mindcrime 2 stuff. And then he mixed it up between when you and I saw it. I think there was a couple changes there, but it's going to be interesting to see what he plays from this to intersperse it with everything else. You know what I mean?
I would love to hear some of the songs on this album played live.
Absolutely.
I love hearing new music live. I'd love to hear Power live, which I know he's doing Power now. I've seen some YouTube videos of it. I think there's one or two other ones, but yeah, I'd like to hear several songs on this. I'd love to hear The Answer, I'll Eat Your Heart Out. I mean, there's even Do You Still Believe? I'd love to hear them pull that off live, but yeah, I don't think he's got anything near me this time, though.
I mean,
he's been.
I think we talked about that. So I think you said you were going to come over here to see the show with us. I thought that you said that.
Maybe. Just might.
So, yeah, that's it on the album. We got
any overall summary thoughts before we rank the songs?
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see which ones he plays live. There's no rocker drivel on here. It's got a couple heavy, hard, fast parts, but nothing overall. I can't wait. I do want to see some of these songs live, because for me, that's the reason to put out an album, so you can go out and play some of the songs from it. You know, you're not going to get, no one's going to pull an Iron Maiden Matter of Life and Death and go out and play the whole fucking album, because Iron Maiden can do that. Geoff Tate would, people would be like, what the fuck?
And people were pissed when Iron Maiden did that. If I recall. I remember, like, if you didn't know that was happening and you showed up and that's what they did, people were not happy.
I saw one of those shows and people were not fucking happy. They were like, what the fuck is going on here? And that's a long album too, but that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoy it. I'm glad to have new music. I'm glad to hear Geoff putting stuff out there. Kieran Robertson is great. I think him and Geoff work well together. He's fantastic. They're both fantastic on stage together. I hope that they do. I would like to see them do just a straightforward, rock album. I think it would be cool. I could definitely see them doing that down the road after they beat this Mindcrime stuff to death, and just do a proper set with some classic Queensryche songs in there. They could even do some stuff throw in a song from the Key or one of those 3 albums. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to, checking these guys out. I'm glad there's an album out, and I think the last album that I could think of that Geoff Tate did was 2021, and it was one of the Sweet Oblivion albums. He just sang on that, and those are really good. I'm not sure who wrote all that stuff, but if you guys have not checked that stuff out, it's called Sweet Oblivion, and there's 2 albums, and Geoff sings on the both of them. Really good stuff, and I'm hoping that we can cover that at some point down the road. But enjoyable album, but head scratcher for Mindcrime tie-ins. There's, like we said, there's snippets here and there, but nothing that you're like, oh yeah, all right, this is what I was looking for. There was none of that. I think the hype totally put the pedal to the floor past what you're getting. But
very poor
Yep.
job of expectation management on Geoff Tate's part. I think he hyped this thing up to be something it's quite frankly not.
Yep.
I think it's a solid album. Don't get me wrong. I said that throughout. I think all these songs on their own are pretty good, and it's great to hear Geoff and his band putting out an album. It's great to hear my favorite singer since 1980, whatever, 4 or 5, still in 2026 putting out new music and still sounding as good as he does. I'm very thankful for that. If you're going to do that, give me some honest promotion on what you're doing. This is not a gripping story of Operation Mindcrime from Dr. X's perspective. It's not heavy. It's not really even that dark. I mean, it's got spots here and there of all those things, but as far as telling a cohesive story, I wouldn't even call this a concept album. This is just a collection of songs that have the same thematic elements to them, very loosely tied back to Mindcrime stuff. If you read the lyrics and find those connections yourself, there's nothing that really tells anything on here other than a couple of lines from a couple songs from Dr. X's perspective. And that's frustrating. And maybe that's just me overhyping myself based on what he said. I thought we were going to get the same story, but told from a different perspective, and we don't. But musically, the band sounds pretty good. Geoff sounds pretty good. The songs are pretty good. I wouldn't say this is like a 10 out of 10 album, but it's pretty good. It's one I will continue listening to. I've enjoyed listening to it over the last week or so, since it came out, and since we've decided to try to get this episode out as quickly as we could. It's just it's a solid album, but it is a bit of a disappointment because of the hype. And I think we can blame Mr. Tate for that because he's the one that hyped it up. All right, so let's get into ranking the songs and see where we fall here. So we've got 13 total tracks. We're going to rank the little interlude songs as well, since I think there's some content there. But what do you have for your number 13 song, Steve?
13, I have Ascension.
Well, there's our first match. I also have Ascension as number 13.
And number 12, I have You Can't Walk Away Now.
I differ a little bit there. At number 12, I have Scene of the Crime, the very intro piece. I think it's cool. It's just a little too over the top, I think, in terms of here's everything you could possibly want to hear from the first album. You know what I mean? All jammed into a minute.
Here's the blender. Blender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, for number 11, I have Dissension.
Okay, my number 11 is You Can't Walk Away Now.
And for number 10, I have The Scene of the Crime.
Okay, so we're real close on those. We had all the interludes. I figured we would have those all ranked bottom.
Yeah.
I always give more credit to an actual song than something like that. So now we're getting into the meat. Number 9 through 1 are the actual songs on the album, the full songs. So what do you have as your lowest ranked full song?
I have A Monster Like Me.
Well, Steve, you're not going to believe this, but I also have A Monster Like Me as number 9.
Number 8, Set You Free.
Okay, we're going to differ a little bit here. I've got number 8 as Vulnerable.
Number 7, I have Devil's Breath.
Yeah, I thought based on your comments that one was going to be ranked pretty low. I do not have that one here. Number 7 for me is the leadoff track, You Know My Fucking Name.
All right, so where am I at? Number 6, I have Vulnerable for number 6.
My number 6 is Set You Free. So we're kind of close there. You had that at 8. I got it at 6.
All right, number 5, I have I'll Eat Your Heart Out.
My number 5 is The Devil's Breath. Again, I have it 2 spots higher than you did.
Number 4, Do You Still Believe?
Oh, we got another match. My number 4 is also Do You Still Believe?
Number 3, Power.
All right, my number 3 you already had. I'll Eat Your Heart Out. And honestly, that song is that high just because of the guitar solo. I think the solo section of that song is one of the best parts of this album. So I'll Eat Your Heart Out, my number 3. What do you got for number 2?
All right, number 2, You Know My Fucking Name.
My number 2 is Power. Has this ever happened before? Have we ever had the same number 1?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh my God.
We'll have to, I don't know. I'll have to go to the archives.
I'll have to go back and check the archives, yeah. So yeah, it sounds like both of us have the same number 1. So in unison, Steve, what is it? 3, 2, 1.
The answer.
Nice. Yeah, that song kicks ass.
Yeah,
I love it.
That song, the first time I heard it, I'm like, all right, this is the one. First time I heard it, I'm like, this is going to be my favorite song on the album. I knew it. I don't know why. It was just one of those things. I'm like, this is going to be my number 1 track, and it stayed there steady.
Yeah, because that's how I rank them. Like when I finally decide to do the ranking, I'll just, as I'm listening to it, I'll start making a list and put, well, this one's number 1 because it's the first song I listened to, you know?
Yep.
And then does the next one go above or below that one? That's how I put the list. And the answer is early in the album, and it hit number 1 and stayed there. Yeah, it's a really good song. And I think Power is also really strong. Really from 7 to 1, I think those 7 songs are really good. Monster Like Me and Vulnerable I could live without, but the other 7 are all pretty solid tracks. But yeah, so that's it. That's Operation Mindcrime 3. So we would love to hear our audience's thoughts on Operation Mindcrime 3, what your initial reactions are. And we may do another one of these shows down the road, do maybe more of a deeper dive, although we did get pretty deep. Actually got a little deeper than I thought we would. Do you want to rank this against the Key? Because we've done Geoff Tate's solo album. So do you think, is this better or worse than
we can.
The Operation Mindcrime, the Key album? What do you think?
I like this one better. Probably because I hadn't heard the Key in a while. I would have to go back to check that out. I remember liking it, though. But there's nothing, I honest to God, I couldn't name a song off of it right now. It's been so long. I haven't listened to it since we did the episode. But,
yeah,
I mean, and that's a good, solid album, too.
Yeah, I went back and listened to it this week because I don't think I'd listened to it since we did that episode. Reinventing the Future is the song that I think is the standout track on that. And I think it's really one of the best songs he's done since leaving Queensryche. But, yeah, this album I think is better. It's better musically. It sounds better. It's just better overall. But the Key's pretty solid. So if you haven't listened to any of those albums for a while, go back and check those out as well. Yeah, so I would put Operation Mindcrime 3 ahead of the Key, and we'll, as we do more of those Geoff Tate solo projects, we'll keep formulating that list. But
should we at some point formulate a Geoff Tate overall list? Because you could literally kind of put Dedicated to Chaos in there. You could, you know what I mean, like when he took over the band and.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a gray area, man. It's got the Queensryche name on it, but it was really him kind of steering the ship. So
Frequency Unknown. That's
yeah.
No one participating, and actually, even most of the guys didn't even play on Mindcrime 2, so that's essentially a Geoff Tate solo albums too.
Yeah, they just cashed.
But it is a gray area. It is like you could pick apart and throw different shit in there, but just off the top of my head, I was thinking that.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that offline and see what we can come up with. Anyway, we would love to hear your thoughts on this album. You can email us at feedback@IRememberNowPodcast.com. You can call in at 336-422-6862. Leave a voicemail on that number, or you can record a MP3 voice note file. You can also email that to us at feedback@IRememberNowPodcast.com, or you can check us out on social media. Leave your comments there, but we're really, really interested in hearing what our audience thinks of this album. I know we kind of threw it out to our chat group a little bit yesterday and got just a couple of responses back. And Jim from Alabama said that he's really digging it so far. He's listened to it just about every day since its release. Jim from Irwin also chimed in and said that he had been checking it out and that he thought it was solid, but just didn't have that one song that really stands out from the rest. And I don't know that I disagree with him on that. I think that we kind of hammered that home as we went through this, that all the songs are very similar, but they're all okay. But yeah, so I'm glad this album's out there. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we get new music from Geoff Tate. And I am glad that you are all out there listening to us talk about it. So we thank you so much for joining in. And Steve, you got anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah, just thank our listeners for listening and interacting with us and everything. And I hope we get some cool feedback from this. And, it's still new music. Geoff Tate's still, creating, which a lot of artists that we listen to these days are not. So we have that to kind of be thankful for. And thanks, everyone, for listening. And everyone stay safe out there.
So once again, we thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, my name is Ray.
And this is Steve.
We'll talk to you soon. Rock on.
Have you forgotten who I am?
You've been listening to I Remember Now, the Queensryche podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and take a moment to leave us a rating or a review. That really helps us out and helps others discover the show. We're proud to be part of the TLD Podcast Network, home to a wide variety of shows, including, but not limited to, The Less Desirables, Wheeler's Dog, Beeswax Final Daily, Mosaic and Music, The Asylum Podcast, and many, many more. Be sure to check them out wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you can get them all right there, tldpodnetwork.com. One more time, tldpodnetwork.com. Want to be part of the show? Give us a call on the TLD Network Hotline, 336-422-6862. Leave a message about this episode, past episodes, or anything else that's on your mind, and you'll hear your voice on a future show. You can also find us online at IRememberNowPodcast.com. On social media like Facebook, we are at I Remember Now, the Queensryche Podcast, and on X, we are at I Remember Now Pod. You can also email us anytime, anything you want. Send messages or pre-recorded voice messages to feedback at IRememberNowPodcast.com. We always love hearing your feedback. Thank you again for listening to I Remember Now, the Queensryche Podcast.
My crime is my life. I remember now.